Welcome to another Spaventoso Speculates. Today we have commander cards. We are doing black commander cards. I have about 17, so it's going to be a packed episode here. We start with Altar's Reap from Innistrad. It's an instant as an additional cost to cast Altar's Reap. Sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. This is quite cheap, as most of these cards on the list will be. Even the foil version is under $1. And I suggest picking this card up to have for a variety of commander decks. As you can see, it's in under 1% of the decks. Here are some of the top commanders that use it. And if you can get these, 4 of them for $1 at your local game store, I would just add as many of these to your collection as you can. Next card up, Corrupted Conviction. 1 black as an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. So slightly better, but just build in that redundancy. This one's from March in the Machine. And if you're in black, you're going to have maybe a lot of random tokens lying around. Maybe since this is an instant, your guy was going to die in a block anyway, or a board wipe. Might as well get some value out of it. This is actually used in 4.8% of decks. And here's some of the top commanders that utilize it. On to the next card, Village Rites. Instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. The foil version for this one's even cheap too. So, as you can see, these first couple of cards kind of have a theme going. If you can get it for about $1, I think you'd be doing good. It's used in almost 10% of decks. Top commanders that use it. And on to the next card here. Aphotic Wisps. Target creature becomes black and gains fear until end of turn. Draw a card. Under 50 cents. From Shadowmoor, so the foil is a little bit more expensive. This is going to be able to get some maybe commander damage in, or sneak a guy across to somebody who does not playing black. And it'll replace itself. It's only used in like under 0.3% of the decks. Here are some of the commanders. It's looking like commanders that maybe get some effects whenever they deal damage, or cheap black spells. Next up, Blade Brand. Target creature gains Death Touch until end of turn, draw a card. This is 5 cents, 15 cents maybe. The foil even is really cheap. And again, it's cantrip, gonna replace itself. Here are some of the commanders that use it. And then Casting of Bones. This is an old one from Alliances. It's 2 and a black for an enchant creature. I guess it's an aura. If enchanted creature is put into the graveyard, draw 3 cards. Choose and discard one of those cards. So if you got something that you know is going to be a high target, maybe your commander, maybe you have your own board wipe that you're going to be playing around on the next turn, you can plop this thing down, recoup some cards. It's under 50 cents, hopefully $0.25, and it's used in 0.05% of decks. Here are some of the commanders that use it. Now, this one might not be a tier 4 deck option, but tier 2, tier 3, or if you're looking for something maybe on theme with bones or casting or limb duel kind of theme, this would be the card you'd want to pick up. Next up, we have Dark Deal, 2 and a black for a sorcery. Each player discards all the cards in his or her hand, then draws that many cards -1. So this is kind of like a uncommon wheel in black. Market value about $4.25, $5 average. It looks like it is going up too, so maybe people are starting to kind of see the value of this card, or maybe it's just a little old and that's why the price is going up. Maybe it needs a reprint. On EDH Rec, it's used in 2.23% of decks. And if you have an opportunity to snag a couple of these, especially if you're playing these kind of commanders, I'd pick some up before this card gets too expensive. Dockside Chef is next from Kamigawa, Neon Dynasty. It is 1 black for an enchantment creature, human citizen, 1 and a black. Sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw a card. This is a foil, under 50 cents, 20, 30 cents average cost. I think it's a great way in black to draw some cards, especially if you have triggers, when things go to the graveyard or when things die. Used in 1.44% of decks, and these are some of the commanders that are utilizing it. Here we have up next, Forever Young, 1 and a black sorcery. Put any number of target creatures cards from your graveyard on top of your library. Draw a card. 40 cents foil. That would be the one I'm targeting. 25 cents probably for a common regular. Really like this draw a card part of it because you can get the creature you want back immediately, as well as any other creatures that happen to be in your graveyard. And on EDH Rec, it's used in 0.5% of 0.50% of the decks listed on here. Here are some top commanders. And then we have You Are Already Dead. 1 black instant. Destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Draw a card. Now, since this is an instant, you can use this on any creature. Somebody might think that they're getting through with some big green trample creature and someone chump blocks it, and then you can get rid of it for 1 black, as well as draw a card and maybe make an enemy at the same time. On EDH Rec, 0.59% of the decks use it. Some of the top commanders that are utilizing this. Maybe a lot of stuff that can deal 1 damage. But I mean, I think this could be good in just about any black deck, especially if you're on a budget. Next up, Mirrodin Avenged. 1 black, destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Draw a card. Hey, that's almost the same thing. 25 cents for a foil. That is a great price for a card that can just slot into any black commander deck. Between 6 cents and 20 cents, so this is definitely some bulk common. I'd check your bulk commons and see if you got any of these lying around, because I feel like they're pretty good in Commander, especially more casual settings. 0.34% of the decks use it. Some of the top commanders, some of the same ones that we saw on the other list. Next, we have Lithoform Blight from Zendikar Rising. It's an enchant land. Whenever Lithoform Blight enters, draw a card. Enchanted land loses all land types and abilities and has tap, add colorless, and tap, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color. And this is a great card to really shut down some land-based strategies. Maybe someone in your pod has a super expensive land that they always seem to draw somehow, and this would shut that card down. Foils, under 50 cents. For an uncommon, it's pretty cheap. It is in 0.07% of decks. And some of the top commanders that use it. Now we have Mordor Muster. 1 and a black sorcery. You draw a card and you lose 1 life, which is pretty on par for most black draw cards, except this one says also amass orcs 1. And I think it's a great way to get a body, maybe that you can sacrifice for another one of the draw spells on the list, as well as replace itself. The foil version is a quarter, non-foil between 5 and 20 cents. It is in 0.4%, 40% of decks. Some of the top commanders, obviously, if you're playing some of the other cards from Lord of the Rings, it's on brand, flavorful, as they say. but I think it can be good in just about any kind of tier 2, tier 3 sort of casual commander deck. Plumb the Forbidden from Strixhaven. 1 and a black has an additional cost to cast this spell. You may sacrifice 1 or more creatures when you do copy this spell. For each creature sacrificed this way, you draw a card, you lose 1 life. Instant. This is going to be great when somebody plays a board wipe, maybe even when you have a board wipe. In order to refill your hand, obviously you're not going to want to do this 40 times, maybe not even 20 times, unless you have some ways to gain life back. But at about 50, 75 cents, or maybe $1.20 for a foil, I think this is a good pickup. It's used in 2.84% of decks. That's quite a lot. Here are some of the commanders that use it. I'm not sure about Chatterfang, but some of these other ones, definitely making use of this card. And Skeletal Scrying from Odyssey. X and a black instant has an additional cost to play. Skeletal Scrying. Remove X cards in your graveyard from the game. You draw X cards, you lose X life. This one, somebody might have been buying this out recently because it is going up. $2, $2.75. Maybe at your local game store, it might be a little cheaper. This site lists it between 30 and 40 cents, so if you can pick them up for that, or maybe this version of it, let's see, might be a little cheaper. Oh yeah, Commander 2017, Commander 2014 versions are definitely cheaper. Yeah, I'd pick some of these up as an instant. I think it's, especially if maybe somebody is about to play something to remove a graveyard, or it's late in the game and you really need to dig into your deck to find some answers. This is a great option. Another card, Weatherlight Infernal Tribute. 343. This card spiked a while back. It has since dropped down, bottom to out. Pay 2, sacrifice a card, and play draw a card. I think this might be on the reserve list, but yeah, I would now grab these since the price has gone back down if you don't have any. It's used in 0.07% of decks. Top commanders that utilize this. Especially late in the game. If you're chump blocking a lot, you got a lot of extra mana. You don't even lose a life when you're drawing that card. I think this might be worth having in your collection. Here's our last card here, Words of Waste. This is probably the most expensive card on this list. A couple years back it spiked up to about $15, but it's back down to under $5. It's an enchantment for 2 and a black. The next time you would draw a card this turn, each opponent discards a card from his or her hand instead. Great way to make a lot of enemies. I really love this art too. Checking out the decks on EDH Rec that use this. It's 0.19% of decks. Some of the top commanders. Bunch of mono black. And that is my list of black cards I think you should be buying for your collection. Let me know what cards you're buying in black for your Commander collection in the comments below, and check the playlist for more videos.